Folks, many people obviously piled into this sort of AI is dead bandwagon yesterday. Even those holding positions that were confused about the reaction, right, to the earnings. These earnings were phenomenal, either good to great. That's all the earnings were. And when it comes down to stuff like this, I always like to go to folks who told us to buy when they were cheap. Everyone's got an opinion now. So in honor of one of my favorite Batman villains, I present Riddle Me This, Shai Balor. Let's bring him in. Futurum Group Chief Market Strategist, Shai Balor. Shai, what the heck happened yesterday? So a lot of earnings are out. I want to kind of go through a bunch of these things. I love the way you go through them. AMD, why was the initial move down, and what do you see for it now?
Yeah, I mean, for AMD, I think there was some frustration that the GPU story is going to be happening next year. I think the market front ran their earnings report wanting it right now. And I think that the CPU side of their business was what carried the strength in the data center revenue. And I just think it's digesting. It's had a massive move. And I think that their 2026 will be the year that AMD really launches off onto that inference demand boom.
What about Arista? This has become a fan favorite. Now I've got a lot of folks coming on the show who typically don't even buy tech, and they're buying this name.
Yeah, so I mean, Arista crushed expectations, but the reason the stock dropped is because it didn't prove that it's winning more AI networking share. I think Nvidia's networking revenue exploded from $3 billion to $7 billion in just 2 quarters. That told investors where the real AI cluster money is kind of heading right now. It's into Nvidia's NVLink and NVSwitch systems, not really Arista's Ethernet setup. So I think the reaction is that even though the business is really healthy, reported a really strong report, NVIDIA's dominance kind of overshadows the story.
What about A-Labs? This is another fan favorite.
Astera Labs had one of the cleanest reports among the cycle. I mean, revenue doubled, margins were strong, the guide was very disciplined. But I think the real hidden gem from that report is what's coming. Their 800 gig ramp starts in 2026, and the shift towards optical interconnect really hits around 2028 when copper hits that physical limit. That's where Astera's technology really comes into play and becomes essential for those data centers. Think of it as become the AI highway between all the different parts of the ecosystem. Right. So I do think this is a name I would be buying on any kind of weakness in the near term.
We got less than a minute to go, and I want to hit you with 2 that you would also be buying. Axon, I remember I owned this when it was Taser. I wish I never sold it, although it peaked in August. It's been coming down, but yesterday it fell off a cliff. Are you buying it here?
I did. I bought it right at the open. I will say this is a classic example of a stocking hit on a slight crack on what is a monopoly that's early in the secular growth theme. I mean, the margin miss was just purely on a mix in tariffs, not weakness in demand. The core business is incredibly strong. ARR grew 41%. Right. Net retention hit 124%. This is the control center for public safety, linking drones, body cams, 911 software, all in one platform.
Some said after New York City's election, double up on the stock. Okay, DigitalOcean, right? This is a beautiful chart. It came off a double bottom. It gapped up. Looks like it's going to break out here soon. Would you still, if someone's watching the show, would they still buy this stock?
I'm going to coin DigitalOcean as my 2026 re-rate story. I think this is a name that is probably the most undervalued AI infrastructure name out there. We had management guide to 20% growth next year when the street, all expectations were 14%. And if you heard the conference call, he sounded very confident that it might even beat that 20%